and the appointment and payment system for assessment and certification. This morning, we will launch the online application and appointment system for the Seafarers Identification and Record Book. This system, which will be implemented nationwide, will result to a minimum of 15-minute processing and releasing of the SIRB. Through the system, MARINA will have a credible database and statistics on the number and status of Filipino maritime professionals. This data will aid us in the development of strategies and policies to improve our system. The other features of the mismo, together with the implementation plan for the Seafarers Identification Documents, or SID, will be launched before the end of this year. On the updates on the corrective actions and measures to address the European Marina structure have also been undertaken. Today, I would like to report that Vice Admiral Narciso Vingson, Jr. was appointed by the President as the Executive Director of the STCW Office on October 15, 2018. Palakpakan natin si Admiral Vingson. His decades of experience in government as a Navy officer in different capacities, his last being the Deputy Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, will surely help the STCW Office in addressing the challenges it is currently facing. Moreover, taking advantage of the expertise of Vice Admiral Vingson on planning and development, I have also designated him as the concurrent OIC Deputy Administrator for Planning. His expertise is badly needed as we work towards the completion of the Maritime Industry Development Plan. The final draft of the MIDP will be submitted for approval by MARINA to the MARINA Board this coming December. Also, additional plantilla personnel were appointed to fill vacant positions in the STCW office. MARINA has submitted the request for the reorganization of the entire agency to cope with the present needs and challenges. I would like to assure you that these actions and other initiatives are being worked out not only to ensure compliance to the STCW Convention, but most importantly, to the development of the maritime manpower sector. There is a lot of work to be done as we approach the year end, but with sound strategies in place, MARINA is confident that ongoing reforms will be sustained in the long term. Muli, maraming salamat po sa inyong patuloy na pagsuporta at higit sa lahat sa inyong pagtugon sa panawagan ng pagkakaisa tungo sa maayos na sistema ng industriya ng maritima. Magandang umaga po at mabuhay tayong lahat.
Thank you so much, our administrator, Sir Ray. He will stay. Again, as expressed by our administrator, thank you so much for joining us. And later we will be... Sir, sa mga nakatayo po sa likod, marami pa pong upuan dito. Please fill in the vacant chairs. Marami pa po on the left side of the stage. At this point, as you can see in the program, we have 8 speakers for today's activity. And the first speaker will come from STCW office from MARINA to explain the framework of the Maritime Industry Authority on how do we produce competent Filipino seafarers. So in behalf of the STCW office to present this framework, may I now request Mr. John Ray Calderon to do the presentation.
Thank you, Ma'am Joy. A pleasant morning to everyone. po ah. Medyo okay. Ayan, okay. Again, good morning everyone. It has always been recognized that the best way to improve safety at sea is by developing international regulations that are followed by all shipping nations. Thus, it is from the point of view of safety of life and property at sea and the protection of the marine environment, the International Maritime Organization adopted one of the important pillars of international shipping, which is the 1978 International Convention on Standards of Training, Certification, and Watchkeeping for Seafarers, or otherwise known as the STCW Convention 1978 as amended. And this convention provides the internationally agreed and accepted standards for the competence of seafarers intending to serve on board seagoing ships to which the STCW Convention applies. And therefore, MARINA's framework on producing competent seafarers is anchored on the prescribed standards of competence under the STCW. And to put this framework into operation, MARINA has embarked on a whole-of-government approach through the issuance of a comprehensive action plan covering 4 major areas. The first area is the harmonized legislation, whereby additional legislative measures that would harmonize STCW implementation in our country will be pursued or is being pursued. The next is the interagency cooperation, whereby MARINA fosters a stronger collaboration with other agencies involved in STCW implementation. And this will be followed by the responsive national provision, which through the harmonized legislation, the amendment and issuance of circulars, memorandum orders, and other government agency issuances shall be done. The fourth is by having comprehensive internal process, which refers to significant reforms in governance, efficient and effective public service, and ensures that only qualified seafarers shall be certificated in accordance with the STCW Convention. And paving the way towards the harmonized implementation of STCW, the President Rodrigo Roa Duterte signed Executive Order Number 63 on September 21, 2018. And this executive order provides for the harmonization of STCW implementation between and among MARINA, CHED, the Department of Health, and the Philippine Coast Guard. It also provides stronger MARINA representation in the technical panel for maritime education, and it strengthens the authority of MARINA, a single maritime administration of our country. And pursuant to Section 2 and 7 of the Executive Order, the implementing rules and regulations was developed and jointly signed by the MARINA, the Commission on Higher Education, the Department of Health, and the Philippine Coast Guard. And under this executive order, MARINA and CHED will be jointly conducting the evaluation and inspection of our maritime education programs, both those that are being applied for approval and also those that are existing, that have been granted government recognition by the Commission on Higher Education before. The Department of Health and MARINA, on the other hand, will be jointly establishing and setting the standards of medical fitness, together with the procedures and processes for the recognition of medical practitioners who are conducting medical examination of our seafarers. And the Philippine Coast Guard and MARINA will jointly come up with the set of procedures for the conduct of control as required under the STCW Convention. In addition, the PCG will also be conducting verification of our Filipino cadets who are undergoing shipboard training on vessels calling Philippine ports. This is without prejudice to the port state control functions of the PCG. Now, the implementation of this IRR is anchored on the concept of implementation by which MARINA has come up. The concept of implementation pertains to a system, a comprehensive process, which consists of a process of preparation, implementation, and evaluation. The process of preparation pertains to the analysis, development, and setting the standards for the education and training of our seafarers. After developing these standards, it will be implemented, and the implementation will come in the form of approval, whereby the evaluation and inspection takes place, and once the programs or the courses are approved, they will be subjected to control mechanisms in the form of monitoring and surveillance. And after the education and training has been implemented and delivered, the product of the education and training will be subjected to evaluation to determine the performance of the outcome. This comprehensive internal process is supported and anchored under the provisions of the STCW Convention, our localized legislation, including all our support resources towards producing world-class and competent seafarers. So, the IRR of EU65, or EU63 rather, has been signed last October 23. And the salient features of the IRR are as follows. In terms of maritime education, training, and assessment of seafarers, the preparation, evaluation, inspection, leading to the approval of this maritime education program, MARINA shall take the lead in the evaluation and inspection of all programs being applied for approval.